Electric. I'm not super comfortable. I'm taking the risk. Maybe I shouldn't. I probably shouldn't. I'm just going back to the wave that always works. We all have a different definition of perfection. And as surfers, we are continuously searching for that perfect session, whatever that means to us. For me, the perfect session is waist to chest high, steep, offshore, and no one out. I've been lucky enough to have a handful of those sessions since I've started surfing, but none of them come even close to what I experienced that day. A massive thunderstorm was forecasted to hit the coast shortly after sunrise. Whenever a heavy weather system approaches the coast, there is always a moment when the wind turns offshore. Those moments are extremely fickle and hard to score, and also dangerous. But I was determined to catch a couple waves before the storm hit. I set my alarm at 5 a.m. in order to be ready to hit the water at first light, around 6 a.m. When I made it to the surf, I realized the thunderstorm wasn't going to move directly over the spot. This was perfect, as it meant I could paddle out and be relatively safe from the lightning strikes. Waves were in my preferred size range, and the wind, as expected, was straight off. I was convinced my session was going to end as soon as that heavy system would pass me, so I paddled out and tried to catch as many waves as I could before that would happen.
Oh my gosh! Holy moly!
The start of the session was nothing crazy. Tide was a bit low, but I was catching a lot of waves, and the ambience was surreal. I wasn't really selecting the best waves because in my head, I had only about 30 minutes of surfing ahead of me. I was looking at that massive cloud make his way inland and knew it was just a matter of time before the waves would get real bad. So I was paddling for any wave I could catch, and I was trying to make as many turns as I could. And honestly, I was having a blast.
Guys, come on. You have got to be kidding me. How good is this wave?
It was starting to look like this guy was throwing a proper rave up there. I had never seen lightning that intense and uninterrupted. To be honest, it was pretty intimidating. I was torn between paddling in and securing the camera or staying out until it would go unsurfable. As you can see, the waves just kept getting better as the tide was filling in. The frequency of the sets was just right, and every time I made it back out, a new set would roll in. I was actually having a hard time catching my breath, and rational thinking wasn't on the menu. So I decided to keep surfing and make the absolute most of this session.
Oh no. Come on, guys. That is frightening. It legitimately looks like someone switched the light off, and that cloud, massive cloud, is going to go all the way there where the sun is, or I mean in front of the sun, obviously, and it's gonna get even worse than that.
In the blink of an eye, the wind turned side shore and picked up a lot. A very heavy rain started pouring down. In less than 5 minutes, the ocean completely changed and the conditions went downhill incredibly fast. At this point, I was feeling grateful to have been able to catch some waves before the storm. Oddly enough, my intuition was telling me to stay in the water and wait a little longer before calling it a day. So that's what I did.
I feel like it's getting better again. Alright guys, I think it's on again.
To my greatest surprise, waves were cleaning up again as fast as they had deteriorated just moments ago with the pouring rain and howling wind. The wind dropped and turned straight offshore again. The thunder had made it inland, and I was all safe now. I thanked myself for having listened to my intuition. I quickly paddled in to check on the camera and then continued on with my session.
Guys. How? I swear to God, people pay thousands of euros for this. Thousands. Flying all the way across the world. And they usually have it crowded. Okay, I need to paddle out and rest, regain my composure. I'm just too excited right now. Look at this. Alright, I need to calm down. What the hell?
At this point, the session was already up there with some of my most memorable surfing moments. Little did I know that I wasn't even halfway through it, and it was going to get a whole lot better. I was still having a hard time being patient and selective. I was catching a wave as soon as I would make it back out. I knew the wind could turn around any minute, and I did not want to feel like I had wasted waves when it would eventually do so. Waves just kept getting better and cleaner. I had never seen this wave work so well. I had been surfing this sandbar for almost 2 months, and this is the best I had seen it. We are deep in perfect session territory for me there. Waves are waist to chest high, wind is perfectly off, and there is not a soul inside. I've caught 26 waves so far, and the frequency is way above my average. This session is turning into an absolute dream.
Look at this. Come on. Tell me that this is not what it is all about. I am so tired. I am so tired. I can't catch my breath ever. There are too many waves and I have no self-control whatsoever. I am not catching this one thread because otherwise I'll never catch my breath. But it's pretty hard to resist the temptation.
I woke up at 5 a.m. and didn't eat, expecting just a 30 minutes to 1 hour session. I am not choosing the best waves. I am making a lot of mistakes. Knees are weak, arms are heavy, and my breath is short. But in that moment, none of this matters. I am having the time of my life, and on top of it all, I know it's all on tape. I am just letting go of all rational thoughts and live in the moment.
This is ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
At this point, the session is turning into the best session of my life. It's funny because despite the extreme fatigue, I am starting to enter the zone. Everything flows, I'm reading the wave a lot better, choosing the right ones, and surfing them pretty well. "40 waves and the counter is still going. This is just unbelievable. I had never caught so many waves in a day, let alone in a single session. It isn't just the best surf session of my life anymore. I really am living one of the best moments of my entire life. Everything is just special. The ambience with the thunder, the pouring rain, and then the glass off. The peaceful solitude, the waves peeling at just the right pace with just the right steepness. I am getting overwhelmed with an immense feeling of gratitude, realizing just how lucky I am to be living that moment." The end of this session is approaching. The wind finally turned around after over 3 hours of perfect conditions. I had recorded an outro for this video, right there on the beach after my last wave. I was completely mind blown and really could not believe what had just happened. I will leave that one in and hope that you will be able to feel some of the emotions that were running through my body at that moment.
Guys, come on. This is insane. There it is. It is finally on shore. I'm gonna be able to paddle in without feeling like I'm missing out on anything.
That was the best surf session of my life. Completely unexpected. I was honestly just thinking that there were gonna be some waves, but that it was more going to be a training session, and I was prepared mentally for a kind of a struggle. And when I got to the waves, it was kind of frightening, but so nice. It looked like we were in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and this is the Atlantic, and this is France. Absolutely mental conditions. It is still going, to be honest. I could still surf, and I would definitely surf that had I not surfed already for 3 hours, even more, I think. I really hope that you guys will have liked this moment just as much as I did. I'm gonna try my best to convey how good it really was and how grateful I really am for moments like this. That was insane, completely insane. I'm speechless, I'm mind blown. There is still no one out, even though the wave's been pumping for a while. And I'm serious, some people pay thousands of euros to have sessions like this. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I just hope for you that you're gonna have a session like that really soon. Because I'm hoping that for everyone, for every surfer out there. This is the pinnacle of surfing. Have a good day, guys. I'm stoked. I'm on a little cloud right now. I'll see you. I don't know when I'll see you again, but have a good one nonetheless. See you next time.